Hey everyone, this is Alvin together with Neil Napier and the rest of the KV Social team. Before we get started, I just want to make sure that you can hear me and if you can see the screen as well. Give me a quick yes or one in the chat if both audio and video is coming through loud and clear. And let me also know what part of the world you're watching this webinar from. It's always good to know where the KV Social community is at, especially it's a Friday today. Okay, let me see. All right, so we have Martin, we have Philip, we have Sterling as well. We see, I see Hochin as well, very familiar name. A couple of familiar names and a couple of new ones on the call today. Now, today we have a very special guest. We have Joseph Lazukin, and he's a serial entrepreneur with years of experience in technology and most especially in the online marketing space. Now, he has been able to recover over $100 million worth of abandoned sales by using the latest strategies and technologies to lower acquisition costs, increase revenues within 7 days, build massive groups and monetizing them, and of course, your good old favorite Facebook retargeting or well, Google retargeting as well. Now, on the call, he will show you exactly what he did to build this up. Now, I would say Joseph, in a nutshell, is someone who turns passion into a business. In fact, he has been able to launch a crowdfunding campaign for his solar eclipse space project, which is very interesting as someone who is well a big fan of Elon Musk myself. Now, I would say Joseph is one of those people who really is passionate about things and turning that passion into a real successful business. And that's why we want to present him to you today. Now, he will be showing you the simple, well, out of this world strategy that's taking the online market space by storm. So, guys, please give a very warm KV social welcome to Joseph. Hey, Joseph, you can take away the controls. It's all yours.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for the great introduction. So, everybody, I hope you're excited. We're going to be going over this amazing tool here. It's called HopFu. It is a tool that I actually ended up building after doing several case studies, working with a lot of presenters from stage. So, if you've ever had to speak for an event on stage or ever done an online webinar, this tool is definitely going to be something that you're going to be super excited about because I ended up doing this manually for the longest time for a lot of my clients, and we ended up discovering that SMS was simply the king of the impulse buy. When we ended up discovering that we could be able to have people text in and be able to interact with specific presentations that we had created, what that allowed for us to be able to do is to continue on explaining whatever we were doing during our presentation. But at the same time, what was great about it is that it allowed for people to be able to engage without us having to be able to hard sell them. So what's great about SMS is that passively in the background, especially with this tool that I'm about to show you, we were able to be able to create automated sequences that allowed for you to be able to continue on your presentation without being interrupted and allowing for you to be able to sell from stage or from the middle of your webinar without ever having to even mention the product. It's passive selling that capitalizes on the impulse buy that a lot of customers feel as they hear you talk about different parts of your presentation. So what's fascinating about HopFu, and I'm just going to kind of dive into it here, is that one of the major features that you're going to end up seeing when you first log in is this presentation feature. We've already set up a demo for you in order to be able to kind of show you what it actually looks like. So if you guys are familiar with Canva, so the Canva or the app where you can be able to create any kind of graphic really simply, well, HopFu can be able to do the exact same thing. You can be able to come in here, you can be able to edit text, you can be able to change any kind of text as you can be able to see in here, just simply like that. You can also be able to change any kind of the colors. So if I want to be able to change the color scheme, all I have to do is just be able to drag it around like this, and then you can be able to see it'll end up changing the color. So I just made it a little bit darker red there. If I want to be able to change the background color, obviously I can be able to change it to any color like that. It again is very simple. You can be able to upload your own images. So if I want to be able to upload an image, change the presentation background to maybe something that's a little bit darker. So maybe if I want to be able to have a black background instead of having that plain, I could easily be able to do that as well. This is just a really simple setup just to be able to show you kind of how you can be able to just customize it, kind of like a slideshow. And the way that we actually end up using this is actually really innovative. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to be able to just go back into the presentation just so that way it's refreshed. And I'm going to go over here to the share button. There's two ways that you can be able to use this, and what's really creative is that you can be able to, one, use it in your presentation. So for those of you that ever do any kind of presentations, maybe from stage or from webinars or even in Facebook Live, what you can be able to do is that you can go to this link, copy and paste it into a new tab, and have it to where people can be able to see this as you're talking on your live. All you have to be able to do is screen share it. Then for those of you that are interested right now, you can actually be able to text in right now and ask them the question. So everybody that's listening on the webinar or presentation, if I end up saying during my Facebook Live or during my on-stage presentation where I'm like, so how often do you guys create presentations for your business? Then I can be able to pause for a minute and let people be able to actually text in and vote to be able to see what people are actually doing when they create presentations. A perfect example of what I ended up doing when I ended up actually asking these questions on stage was we ended up doing it for this speaker, Danelle Legato. We even actually ended up adding a QR code so that way she could be able to have it to where if people didn't want to be able to actually text in the number, they could actually be able to take a picture with the QR code and it would automatically load the message to text and the phone number. So they can automatically have 1 or 2 or 3 loaded in when they scan the QR code, and people would just hit send, and then it would automatically update live the poll. So for everybody that's watching right now, take a minute and actually text in this number. For those of you that are local, all you have to do is text in the 619-473-4276, and then text in the number that you want to be able to vote. So if you guys use presentations in order to be able to speak on stage, text the number 1. If you guys use webinars when you do presentations, text in the number 2. And if you use Facebook Live and presentations, text the number 3. And what's cool about it is that you're actually going to be able to see it update live. When people are actually able to be able to see it update live, then the fascinating thing is that they're going to actually turn around and they're going to go, oh, wow, that's interesting. I'm going to add my vote. I'm going to add my vote. And when we ended up doing this live from stage, we ended up actually capturing between 68 to 82% of people that were in the crowd, and we're able to get them into our list so that way we could be able to build an SMS list, which we could then be able to attach to a bot and then retarget them and be able to close them directly from stage. So for those of you that are like familiar with ManyChat, this is pretty much the exact same thing except for SMS. And what's great about this tool is not only can you be able to use it for presentations like you can be able to see here, but on top of it, you can also be able to use it for Instagram. For those of you that have a large following on Instagram, one thing that is super easy in order to be able to help you guys be able to build a list is by being able to add this number, okay? The number that you end up getting assigned that you end up purchasing through HopFu, and you can actually purchase multiple numbers through HopFu and attaching it to your profile because people are naturally curious. They're going to be wanting to reach out to you. And if you have this option in your Instagram profile, we've had it where we've gotten in anywhere from 50 all the way up to over 200 people texting in per day just out of curiosity. When we end up having it to where we end up saying, oh, hey, if you want to be able to figure out my top 10 secrets on how to be able to expand your business or grow your business, text into the number below in order to be able to claim your free PDF. What ends up happening is that those people will end up texting in. And when they end up texting in, the beautiful thing about it is that guess what? The moment that ends up happening, you go over here and they end up being in your actual dashboard underneath your subscribers. So you're actually going to be able to see the people that have texted in underneath your subscribers. And you can actually be able to use your SMS bot, which I'm going to dive in and I'm going to show you guys here in order to be able to set up complex campaigns. If you guys have ever used anything like, let's say, Infusionsoft or ActiveCampaign, you're going to be able to see that it's very, very similar in the way that you can be able to easily just drag and drop things in order to be able to create a very complex campaign. So for those of you that text in, and the reason why I wanted you to be able to text into that number is because immediately when you text 1, 2, or 3, or even if you don't text the right option into the number, the fascinating thing is that the bot's going to direct you on what to be able to say. So when you actually text in and you don't text in something correctly, it's going to say, in order to be able to claim your special bonus, you can be able to, in order to vote, you need to be able to text back the option 1, 2, or 3. What's fascinating about that is that if you don't end up doing it, then it's going to route back and see if you ended up doing it right the second time, and then it's going to end up saving your vote and then continuing on with the funnel. So this is basically like being able to set up an email sequence, except being able to make sure that the questions and the answers that people end up saying are helping you be able to push them to the point of sale. But at this entire time, you're being able to segment them out based on what they voted. So you can be able to see here that we have 3 different segments. We have the vote number 1 over here, we have the vote number 2 over here, and we have the vote number 3. And based on how they ended up voting, we ended up saving their votes so that way we can be able to retarget them later with future SMS blasts. So for instance, if we end up doing a flash sale for especially for Black Friday, with Black Friday coming around the corner, what we can be able to do is that based on what they ended up voting, so for instance, if I ended up having a gym, let's say a fitness gym or something else along those lines, and we want to be able to advertise a really great offer, then what we could be able to do is that we could be able to do a presentation talking about where do you think your top 10, your biggest problem area is, and we could be able to change the options in here to be able to say my top problem area is belly fat. The next thing that we could probably be able to do is that we could be able to come in here and say, let's see, what's another big topic? Be able to get rid of my love handles. The other big thing that we could be able to do is that we could be able to say, for people that are working out, is that they want to be able to get a stronger core. So a stronger core could be a third option. And you can add as many options as you like. All you have to be able to do is come over here, and you can be able to continue adding as many options as you would like for people to be able to text in and be able to vote. There's no limit to the number of poll options. However, doing 3, we ended up finding out that was the best number. And when people end up texting in, the nice part is that now we know that based on what they ended up voting for, we can be able to go over here and we can go back to the bot and we can be able to go, okay, we've saved their vote. So now we've saved their votes by 1, 2, or 3. And if the first one is that they're trying to be able to get rid of belly fat, stubborn belly fat, we can be able to turn around and we can be able to create a custom message based on what they ended up saying. So for the purposes of this demonstration, when you guys ended up seeing, okay, where do you guys be able to create presentations? If you voted number 1, you're going to be able to get this message. So it says, hey, you create presentations when you speak on stage? Awesome. You can use HopFu in order to be able to create interactive polls that automate sequences to be able to convert crowds into leads or sales when they text in to vote, just like this. And then it asks you, by the way, what is your email that I should send you your special bonus? Because if you notice on the presentation, I said, if you text in, you're going to get a special bonus. And for those of you that texted in, you're actually going to be able to get my top 5 secrets on how I was able to be able to scale Facebook ad campaigns and be able to lower cost per acquisition for many of my clients by over 50%. So for those of you that actually took action, you're going to be able to go through that sequence. You're going to actually be able to get that actual 5 top tips, growth hacking tips, in order to be able to grow your business when you actually text in. So when you get down to this point, when you put in your email, then it's going to end up checking if the email was sent. And if it wasn't sent properly, so let's say that you ended up putting in something that wasn't an email, or you put in an invalid email, it's going to say, hey, that doesn't look like a valid email. Please text in with a valid email in order to be able to claim your bonus. So as you can see, at every single step, I'm able to be able to walk a user down to the point of sale until they get to the very end, where I send my call to action message, where it ends up sending you the actual bonus that I was just talking to you about, the 5 top tips. And then it also ends up telling you, hey, by the way, if you want to be able to figure out how to be able to convert people, this is actually the step where you would convert people in HopFu by telling them to go to your sales page, to be able to go to the order form, or to be able to go to an automated webinar, however you end up planning on using it. What's awesome about HopFu is that not only can you be able to send normal messages or be able to save a user response in order to be able to hyper segment out your database, the nice part is that you can actually be able to send out post requests to be able to automatically update CSVs or be able to connect it to Zapier. We're actually going to be integrating with that early next month. So you guys are going to be able to actually start having it to where when you get a lead off of Facebook come in, we're going to have it to where it automatically can be able to go through this SMS sequence. So that way you no longer have to spend anywhere from 30 cents all the way up to $1 or $2 in order to be able to retarget your own leads on Facebook. Now you can be able to just use SMS and be able to automatically send them a message that's transactional and expected, which is super important, and have it to where it automatically ends up going to the user, automatically pushes them to the point of sale without you having to spend that $1 or $2 per user who might not even buy. Additionally, which is really nice, is that you can also be able to send scheduled messages. So for any of you that do any kind of webinars, or if any of you do any kind of speaking on stage, what you can be able to do is that when somebody ends up texting in order to be able to opt in for the poll, what's nice is that you can be able to have it to where a relative time goes out, to where you can actually be able to have it to where 15 minutes from the time that they text in, that's when they end up getting pitched. So depending on how you end up styling your pitch from stage or a pitch in a webinar, you can automatically be able to delay it so that way they're not getting bombarded with text messages. Or You can be able to have it to where after your webinar ends, if you have a limited time offer, which is what I highly suggest you do, because that is what we've seen work the best with SMS, is having a 24-hour kind of flash offer. Then you can be able to have it to where you set up basically a message that reminds them throughout periodically. Let's say 4 hours in that, hey, they only have 20 hours left in order to be able to claim their discount. And then you can be able to remind them when they only have an hour left by saying 23 hours from the time they text in. Make sure to remind them now that they only have 60 seconds. And usually what we ended up finding is that when we ended up retargeting people and having it to where we ended up using the relative timestamp in order to be able to have it to where people were texted basically relative to the time that they texted in, people were really, really anxious because they saw the scarcity that they wouldn't have that offer if they didn't end up basically opting in right then and there in that last 60 minutes. So we actually saw a pretty substantial conversion ratio when using the relative timestamps. But if you don't want to be able to use that, and let's say that you have a Black Friday deal, for instance, and it's a very fixed time and date, then you can be able to go in here and you can be able to say, hey, for Black Friday, I want to be able to have it so that way it's only going to end up being on that specific day, and all my offers are going to go out first thing in the morning at 7 a.m. And it's going to have it so that way when the offers go out right away, people are going to be able to wake up and spend their money with me instead of everybody else on Black Friday. And one of the strategies that we ended up seeing work very, very well when actually marketing to people on Black Friday is not to actually market on Black Friday. What we ended up finding is that by doing it both in email and SMS sequence, the 7 days leading up to Black Friday, and with the number one leading email or message to the people being, what offer are you most excited for? That's when people ended up getting super engaged with our campaigns. That's when people ended up going, wow, I really love that $400 70-inch TV that I could be able to get. And we would actually have it to where people voted on it, and then immediately we would automatically push them into a sequence, much like the one that you see here, and it would automatically end up offering them that Black Friday deal right then and there. Because why would you want to be able to compete with all of the different people on Black Friday when you could be able to hit them a little bit ahead of time? Because everybody saves their money for Black Friday, and if you're not hitting them early, you're competing with Target, you're competing with all the major brands, and you're also competing with all the small offshore, basically small e-commerce shops and Amazon. If you hit them before with strategies like this, where you're constantly in front of their face, you're easily able to be able to capture those dollars. And a fun statistic, believe it or not, is that when it comes to SMS, over 80%, 80% in our case studies and 80% when we ended up actually testing it, 80% ended up literally, I kid you not, opening it within the first 15 minutes. Think about that for a second. When you send out emails, you send out over 1,000 emails, you might be lucky in order to be able to get maybe 200 or 300 of them to be able to open. But what's great about HopFu is that if you can be able to actually use SMS, 80% of those people are going to open it within the first 15 minutes. That means that you can be able to capture them on the impulse buy. And if you're using tools like our presentation software here in order to be able to encourage them to be able to text in, you can be able to see that some people ended up texting in here. And if I go over here, we can be able to see the live view. So we can be able to see that 2 people ended up texting in, or a couple of people ended up texting in. So the top 2 people said that they were basically using it for speaking on stage and webinars. And based on that, they're going to get totally different journeys. They're going to get saved completely differently. And I'm not going to go to the subscribers in order to be able to show you all the numbers that are now coming in and being saved, because I don't want to show everybody your guys' numbers. But what's great about HopFu is that you can be able to easily build a list. So for everybody that's been struggling to be able to build a list, you can be able to easily add it to your Instagram portfolio or Instagram bio and have it to where people automatically get curious and they text in. You can put your call to action right there in your Instagram portfolio, and then bam, you have literally created an Instagram bot. People text in and they're automatically converted into literally being in your sequence. So whatever you do from that point, you've already captured that lead. They've texted in out of curiosity or to be able to claim an offer, and now guess what? They are converted. They are in your list. You can be able to have it to where they go through your sequence, and guess what? It's game over. This is the easiest way to be able to list build. On top of it, what you can be able to do is that you can be able to have it to where you release like a image on Instagram saying, claim $100 off this offer, or get this buy one get one free necklace, or be able to get this free consulting session when you end up basically taking a snap of this QR code and going to the destination, or having it to where you text in order to be able to get this discount. Any of those different offers that you can be able to use will lead people to the point of sale, and you will easily be able to convert people and be able to get them to the point where you're going to be able to retarget them for a heck of a lot less and a lot cheaper than you would otherwise do with Facebook ads or any other marketing medium. So again, by being able to use this software in webinars or in Facebook Live, it increases engagement. I've been able to build lists literally in my first live that I ever ended up using this presentation software. We ended up using a couple variations of it, and I'll just show you a couple variations of it now. So this is the one that we ended up doing for a case study. She ended up converting a significant percentage of people from stage. Here is another one. This is for Alex Kahn. He is the top social media specialist for all of Germany that we ended up doing a case study with. He ended up using this, and we ended up using a custom setup that is actually going to be coming to HopFu very soon, where people can be able to text in their questions and it would automatically end up appearing on the board. So this was actually perfect for a Q&A type setting. So this is another way that we were going to be able to set up for presentations to be able to help you get people to be able to opt into your list, is by being able to have it to where they text in questions that'll automatically appear live. So by being able to do this, we were actually able to increase the percentage of people that ended up texting in. And we were able to be able to see what their biggest problem was too, by having them literally ask a question. So we can be able to see here that Maria's biggest question is, what is the best live streaming platform, Facebook or Twitter? By being able to understand that, we can be able to see that Maureen is perfect for being able to market to and be able to say, this is the best software for being able to live stream. So we can be able to recommend to her, whether it be our own software or an affiliate link to a software for a live streaming software or live streaming PDF, or we know that if we end up sending her a text message where it says, hey, in order to be able to get our top 5 tips, just send us back your email and we'll send you back the top 5 tips in order to be able to go viral when live streaming on Facebook. Again, what we can be able to do is that we can be able to talk to, let's say, Mario down here. Is there a difference between B2C and B2B? We can be able to go down the route of explaining, hey, there's a big difference between there being B2B and B2C sales. And we can be able to give him a guide, or we can be able to send him to a course that basically ends up helping him be able to find out how to be able to best sell to B2C and also being able to sell a B2B. And we can be able to capture money that's been left on the table when you're speaking on stage or during an actual event. Now there's also questions about OBS, which is a streaming software, because his entire thing is about social media. So people are asking about Facebook Live essentially. So OBS is basically a streaming software, and people are asking, hey, does this end up working with a specific camera? Again, we can be able to answer his question, and we know that Josue is super interested in live streaming, in presentations. So what can we be able to send him? Anything that revolves around video, anything that revolves around live, anything that revolves around any of those topics. So you can be able to create really creative presentations much like that one, and be able to have it to where you convert all of your followers into an actionable list that you can then be able to market to and constantly be able to generate sales. So that is HopFu in a nutshell. You're able to be able to create these very simple drag and drop presentations and drag and drop campaigns in order to be able to generate money. It is one of the simplest things that you can be able to do. I have been able to use it successfully in multiple different advertising campaigns in order to be able to generate sales. And if you guys end up texting into this number here, you're actually going to be able to get that PDF where I end up showing you 5 great ways that you can be able to lower your cost per acquisition using Facebook ads, and also Facebook ad hacks that I've been able to discover that I've actually used SMS in some ways in order to be able to actually reduce my cost per acquisition. And I actually have videos that you can be able to see where people are literally saying that these tips have been able to help them reduce their cost per acquisition by over 50 to 60%. So again, I would really, really recommend that you end up texting in, being able to actually see how the software works firsthand when you actually end up texting in. So that way you can be able to see, how is the bot going to end up working? How can you be able to set up bots for your own clients? There's a bunch of different ways that we can be able to set them up. If I wanted to be able to set up a basic reminder, for instance, I can be able to send out an initial message. So I will say, hey guys, thank you for texting in. Here is your 24-hour limited promo code for 50% off your next consulting session. Then you end up giving them promo code. So whatever the promo code is. So I'm just going to put promo code in here for now. And then I'm going to say redeem it today at, and I'm just going to put http website.com because I don't have a website in mind for this. So let's just put, let's say hopfu.com, and let's put them to the actual special offer page. So you can be able to put it in however you want. You can do it as special, you can do it as the ending, depending on how your website's set up, being able to set it up like that. So immediately I have this campaign right here. I have this message being sent out. And again, this is just showing you an example of being able to have it to where it's based on relative time. We're going to be able to send them another reminder when they have 4 hours left of being able to use this coupon. We're going to say, hey, just a reminder, there's only 4 hours left to redeem that 50% off offer. Make sure to redeem your promo code before it expires. Just a very, very simple example of how to be able to use a text message. And what you see is what you get. If you guys ended up texting in on the prior campaign, you guys are going to be able to see that the way that I'm typing this right now is exactly how it ends up formatting. So there's no kind of question, if, ands, or buts about how it's going to look to your end consumer, and it's going to be really, really clean. And also a really good hack is to be able to have it to where your URL is at the bottom, because when it comes to SMS, when you have the URL at the bottom, both Android and iPhone now are starting to be able to show a preview of whatever the website is and a little bit of a snippet about whatever the context is. So you can actually be able to engineer this in order to be able to be a giant billboard for whatever it is that you're trying to be able to get them to be able to do. So make sure that you end up using that when you end up actually sending people to a website. So again, make sure to be able to redeem your offer. We want to be able to mention the promo code again, and we want to be able to go redeem at, and then again, https website.com. And then we can be able to put in some additional text in there. And what we're going to do is we're just going to remove that and then leave it as that. Now we have this message being sent out. So we're going to say this is the initial message, and you can be able to put labels here so that we know what's going on. Initial message, then this is the 20-hour reminder. And then we're going to have a final reminder, which basically goes out at the very, very end. And we're going to be able to say, hey guys, this is going to be your last reminder. Last reminder, or emergency. Emergency is a word that I've seen work amazingly well when it comes to just subject lines, and when it comes to kind of the preview message that people are going to see when they see SMS messages. If they see emergency, they're going to open it. They might be a little annoyed if you're trying to be able to pitch them in a broadcast, but if you're trying to be able to do it in a transactional, it actually works out really, really well. My best subject lines, I kid you not, when it comes to email, is using the word emergency. Just that line alone has literally gotten me the highest open rates. I've literally had like 58% open rate across my entire list by using the word emergency in the subject line. It uses the same psychology when you use it for SMS as well. So what I'll do is I'll go last final reminder, your promo code expires in 60 minutes. Don't lose out on this one-time limited offer to get 50% off. And then I'm going to do promo code again, your promo code. And then I'm going to say redeem now at, and then whatever your website is. And this is going to be super, super simple. Again, I'm just going to put in website.com, save the changes, and there we go. We have a reminder. Now, this could be for a flash sale. Reminder. Okay, so this can be for a flash sale. This can end up being for a webinar. So for instance, a webinar much like this one. It could be for reminding people that you're about to go live. It could be able to be a reminder for an appointment. So if you have a funnel that you want to be able to funnel your clients down through, it could be a funnel for an event. So you can be able to actually go over here and let me just save this one as a demo 2 bot. So let's save this. and let's buy a new number. So it'll automatically buy a new number and be able to attach it. So we have another bot in there, and you can be able to see it bought another number. So we have this bot is attached to this phone number. We have the original bot, which is attached to that one. Super simple. You don't have to spend too much time. And for those of you that might be international, you can actually be able to select basically every single country as a baseline phone number. So if you guys are in Australia, or if you're in Canada, or if you're in the United Kingdom or Sweden or Switzerland or anywhere in the world, you can be able to have a custom number for your own country. And we're actually going to be able to have it to where you're going to be able to actually pick the number instead of automatically getting one generated for you pretty soon here. So you're going to be able to do a little bit of branding play with your phone number soon. But when it comes to being able to actually upload and import from a CSV document, that's it. All you have to do is download this sample file. So you're going to be able to download this sample file, open this up, be able to see what the actual format is that we want to be able to see. And you're going to be able to see in here that there is this example file that you're going to be able to see. So we're going to be able to go, okay, actually this is the wrong file. So let's pull this up. There we go. So we're going to be able to see in here that we have some default emails. Inside of here, what we're going to be able to do is that we're going to be able to automatically upload this entire list, so that way we can be able to have it, so that way when we upload it, then we can turn around and we can be able to do a broadcasting out to all of these people. So we're going to be able to select this, and then we're going to select our list down here, and then we're going to broadcast out to all of those people to be able to do whatever it is that we want. And then if they respond in our broadcast, so if we broadcast out, hey, last 100 tickets available for this event, or last 100 tickets available, or last, let's say, last 5 slots available for this weekend's coaching session, or this last 5 seats available for whatever, that's perfect for it. And then say, if you want to be able to get $100 off, text back deal, or text back some keyword or something else like that. And then boom, it's back in the bot sequence, and you can be able to automatically give it to where they constantly get reminders leading all the way up to the actual event. So that way you can be able to make sure everybody comes to the event. You don't have a bunch of people that RSVP that they're going to come and don't actually end up coming. The same thing with webinars. If any of you have ever done a webinar before where you end up having 7,000 people end up actually subscribing to go, and you only end up with a small percentage, that's what HopFu can be able to help prevent. And that's also what can be able to help you literally end up basically gaining more sales. Because if you can be able to get an extra 20% of people on by using HopFu onto your webinar, that's several hundred to several thousands of dollars extra in money that you otherwise wouldn't have had, because you didn't have that reminder set up automatically. And then furthermore, when you're actually on the actual broadcast, you can be able to have it to where it automatically, if we go into our demo bot again, let's say that this is actually for our webinar, we can be able to automatically have it where we go in here and we know that we're going to have our webinar, let's say the 11th at 12 o'clock, and we're going to put it at 12 o'clock. Then we're going to go, okay, so our webinar is going to start then, and we're going to be able to have it to where we end up texting out a message to everybody. So everybody that ends up hopping on the webinar, or actually this would probably be a great time to be able to have it to where we remind people that the webinar is going. So it would be like, hey, just a quick reminder, the webinar that you RSVP'd for just started. And you don't have to use fancy language here. You can just keep it plain and simple. What's crazy is that a lot of people overcomplicate marketing, and you just have to keep it simple. The webinar, so you want to be able to remind them what type of webinar. So let's say the fitness webinar that you RSVP'd for on how to lose that stubborn belly fat. So this is how we can be able to segment out the people that ended up literally basically RSVPing on a prior campaign about wanting to be able to get rid of belly fat. We can be able to say on how to lose that stupid belly fat. So just a quick reminder, the fitness webinar that you RSVP for on how to be able to lose that stubborn belly fat just started. It's not too late to join, comma, click the link below. And then we literally end up inserting the link. So it'll be like blah, blah, blah. And then it'll be like webinar.com / whatever our weird hash sign is. And that's going to be that. So immediately when that webinar starts, that's going to go out to everybody, a final reminder that your webinar has started. And then if we want to be able to get creative, is that we can be able to have it to where then we end up going, okay, well, I know my webinar is going to naturally be about an hour. So we can be able to have it to where we go back in here and we end up saying, okay, we want to be able to have a reminder 15 minutes into the webinar, and that's going to be our hard hitting close. We know that at 15 minutes in, we're going to try and close these people. So I'm going to touch on a key topic 3 times throughout the entire webinar, and I'm going to have it to where it automatically ends up sending out a message every 15 minutes to these people, and it tries to engage them to talk to my bot or to be able to actually go to the point of sale to where I can keep talking without actually telling them to go do a specific action. Passive selling through SMS I've found is to be one of the most effective ways in order to be able to actually close clients. I know it sounds really crazy, but a lot of people don't like to be sold. When they actually just have a text message where they're actually seeming like they're getting texted, and you can actually even pretend if you really want to that you're texting people live on a webinar, which is amazing. I've actually done this on a recorded webinar. If you actually say, hey, text me, and I'm gonna wait a little bit and then I'll text you back, people will actually end up texting in, and you can be able to read off some of the questions that come in. You can pretend like you're reading off questions that are coming off your phone, and people are literally responding to your bot, and you're actually responding back to them, and they feel validated. When people feel validated, they feel trust, and when they feel trust, they buy. That's why I say SMS is the king of the impulse buy. They know that you're not going to respond to an email right away, but they know that there's a chance that you can be able to respond to an SMS message right away. These are all different tactics that you can be able to use. So again, you can be able to use HopFu for being able to lock people in off of presentations from stage. You can be able to have it so you can see some people are now continuously texting in over the course of this live. So as they text in, you can be able to see that they're being able to increase automatically. This would actually update live if somebody texted in right now. It would automatically update, so it would change from 33 or from 0 to or 50 up here. It would automatically change. And what's amazing about that is that that gets people engaged. So this is one way to hook people. We have the new way that's about to hook people too, which is obviously having it to where they can be able to text in questions live so it appears on the screen. And you can obviously filter it too. We made sure to be able to add some filters in there so that way you don't have garbage pop up on the screen. So this is one way to get people into your bot. Another way is to be able to go on Instagram. So if I go over to Instagram really quick and I go over to my personal profile, so you can be able to see here, if I were to be able to add this into my profile, so let's take the bot that is right here. So let's go in and let's copy this phone number. So let's go into the demo bot. Actually go back. Let's go over to my bot builder. Let's select my original bot, and I'm going to go over here. I'm going to edit my copy, and this is as simple as it is. I literally have used this on some of my brands. So I have a bunch of like small brands that I'm like starting off. These are like custom watches. So let's just say that I do it for this brand, right? So I go down here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in here, and instead of having it to where it says send us a DM, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up going, let's see, remove all of this. I'm going to save this somewhere else for later. And then I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to have it to where inside of this DM, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to say, send us a text message, and we'll send you a free watch. And then what we're going to do is that we're going to have it to where we end up putting this phone number. So we're going to do plus, and we're going to do format it so that way people kind of get an idea of how to be able to do it. They're going to be able to text into there. What's also neat is that if we want, we can actually be able to put it into here. So this number right here is actually another bot. So I already have a bot set up for this, but I'm just going to show you guys over the course of this demo. So I'm going to save this. Okay, so now when I go to my profile on the site, you're going to be able to see here, this pops up here. Obviously, it's going to look much better when you're on your phone. And then when people actually end up texting in, and you can kind of see that people have texted into this text message. So now you see it live update. It just moved a little bit, and it's going to continue to move as more and more people text in. And let's see, now I can be able to go and let's set up a bot for what is something practical that we would end up doing for this Instagram. So I'm telling influencers or bloggers to be able to text in, and we'll send you a free watch. Clearly I missed a word, so let's fix that really quick. We'll send you a free watch. There we go. Perfect. And we'll send you a free watch. Let's go back. Let's make sure it's right. And we'll send you a free watch. Perfect. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to qualify people automatically through text message. And why am I doing this? So immediately I'm going to go, hey, thanks for texting in. for texting in really quick, what is your name? What is your name? And then this is going to be initial message, just so that way I know kind of what's going on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a conditional note. I'm going to go, okay, are they going to be sending me a single name? So is this going to be their first name? So if first name, okay. Or we're going to be able to check to see whether or not they've sent 2 words, okay, so multi-word. So we're going to be able to say, okay, they sent multiple things. So if they sent first and last. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go, okay, if it's not valid that they only sent 1 word, then it might be valid that they ended up sending 2. And then what we're going to go is that we're going to say, if it didn't match anything, we're going to go, hey, didn't really understand that. Text, but if you're interested in promoting how big is or actually, instead of doing that, if you're interested in promoting, what is your Instagram handle? And then what we're going to be able to do is that even if it's not, if they didn't text in their first or their last name, we still want to be able to push them, and we want to be able to get as much information as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have it so that way both the valid and invalid both go to the same spot. And also for the first name, they're all going to go to the same spot. But before I do that, I forgot to do this one step. So what I'm going to do is that if they did end up actually sending in the information, I'm going to be able to go in here and I'm going to say, okay, this is going to be for their first name over here. So save first name. And then I'm going to obviously connect it to the thing that is correct. And then I'm going to have it to where it goes over here. I'm going to do the same thing over here where I save the user's response, but instead of saving first or last name, because it doesn't exist, I'm going to save it as full name, and this will actually appear in the CSV when you end up exporting it. So save full name. So now if they ended up texting in both the first and last name, we're going to save it, and then we're going to send them this message. So all roads lead back to this one message that we send them. And then what we're going to be looking for is we're going to be looking for seeing whether or not they ended up sending back their handle. So what we can be able to do here is that we can be able to see if they end up using the @ symbol. So this is basically saying if the message contains a specific keyword, and a keyword can be anything from a single letter all the way up to anything else. And then what we're going to do is that we're going to drag this down. So it's all the way up here. We're going to drag this over here, and we're going to end up saying, okay, asking for handle, and we're going to have it to where it goes over here. And then we're going to say check if handle sent. And then if they didn't end up sending it, then we're going to go, sorry, I wasn't able to look that up. Can you please send the link instead? Send a link instead. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm trying to make the conversation seem as natural as possible, because I want to be able to have it to where it doesn't sound like a bot or a script. I want to be able to make it sound as natural as possible. If anybody's ever used ManyChat, this is kind of the biggest thing that allows for you to be able to sell, is having it to where you end up making bots sound as natural as possible. So we're going to connect the not valid sequence to this, so that way we can be able to go, okay, when they didn't end up texting incorrectly, well, there we go. But if they did end up sending in their handle, we're going to save that. We're going to save that as Instagram handle. So again, we're going to create another custom field. We're going to say Instagram handle. Okay, we're going to save that here, and it is all the way up here. We got to drag this all the way down. It's thinking that I'm zoomed all the way out, I guess. Let me just zoom out a bit so that way it stops doing that. So connect this to the valid over here. So now we have collected, over the course of this entire conversation, we've collected their name, whether first or last name. Now we've also asked for their handle, so we know we can be able to look them up and be able to see whether or not that they're actually worthwhile in order to be able to connect. And if they're not valid, we've asked them to be able to send a link. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to want to be able to save, instead of an Instagram handle, we're going to be able to save Instagram profile link. And you don't have to have it to where you can add spaces if you'd like. It doesn't really matter because this is a label. I just like to be able to have things kind of combined all together for some reason. It just makes it simpler. So then you're going to drag this down here. You're going to make sure to connect these two together. So we're going to label this just so that way we can remember if they actually ended up, what's going on really. We're trying to be able to remember. So save Instagram handle. So Insta handle. We're going to save Insta profile. And that's what's happening here so far. So we get their handle on one side if they ended up going one direction, and on the other direction, we're getting their actual link. So what we can be able to do to check to see if they actually ended up sending a link, well, there's a couple of things that we can be able to do. Obviously, before we end up having it to where we end up saving whatever they end up responding as a profile, we're again going to create another check to be able to see if it contains Instagram, because obviously any Instagram link is going to contain Instagram.com. So we're going to actually look for this, and we're going to actually be able to see whether or not they ended up sending Instagram.com as part of this message, and we're going to have it to where we connect this message over here. Okay, and then what we're going to do over here is we're going to have it to where if it is valid, then we're going to save that info. So let's drag this up here and make this a little bit neater. And then let's put this over here because two of these campaigns are going to combine now. So now that we've gotten both their handle or their Instagram profile, this is where we're at right now. All right. Then we're going to go down here and we're going to finally end up saying, thank you. Thank you. I will get in touch with our team and give you a response within the next 24 hours if you meet our standards, if you meet our collaboration standards to send a free watch. So something as simple as that is now being completely automatically handled by a bot. So this entire getting an influencer's information, being able to have it automatically put all into a neat, nice list that you can be able to look at each and every day without even having to talk to these influencers, saving you time and money. Holy crap. This has been so super, super valuable for us. So by being able to have it to where we set it up like this, then we can be able to go final message. And then there you go. You have your Instagram, your influencer bot. Also, for anybody that ended up catching over here that maybe they didn't end up sending the link, didn't send link. This time we're not going to allow for them to be able to continue. And what we're going to say is that if you are serious about promoting with us, please send us your Instagram profile link. All right, and then we're going to copy this message over here, and it still thinks that we're going to do that here, and then we're going to loop it. So we've connected it if it's not valid. So if they didn't send their profile link, what we're going to do is that we're going to loop it back around to check if they've done it the second time, and that is it. And that is our entire sequence. If you want to look at it super zoomed out, that's all it is. We basically set up an entire bot that can be able to automate hours, something that people spend hours or even hire out an entire person to do daily for several hours. In a couple of minutes, we've been able to build this bot that can automate that task. And that's just one bot. Now you can go out and you can be able to build bots to be able to do multiple different things. And soon, coming next month with HopFu, we're going to have it to where it can be able to check schedules, be able to automatically look at your calendar, be able to see if there's an available appointment and respond to the person so that way they can be able to book an appointment directly through HopFu. On top of it, we're going to be able to have it to where you can be able to send them directly to a custom landing page or purchase form. So that way HopFu can be able to see whether or not somebody ended up purchasing and be able to label them appropriately. We're going to be doing a lot of great things. We're going to be connecting it so that way automatically leads that come in off your website or off of Facebook or off of any different outlets. So for instance, if you already have, let's say, a really large list that you continuously, and you have a system that continuously grows, HopFu is going to be able to plug into that. So when you guys end up buying in today, we basically have this special offer for you guys where we're going to be giving you a massive, massive discount. So for today and today only, we're basically going to be giving you guys $500 off today in order to be able to get HopFu for the entire year for only $697. Normally it's $100 a month, which is usually $1,200 a year. So you're going to be able to get in and you're going to be able to get this special offer, 50% off. That includes unlimited keywords. So if you guys didn't notice, unlike most traditional SMS software, which only limits you to be able to have 3 or maybe 5 keywords for $100 or $50 a month, we're basically giving you unlimited keywords. You get 3 phone numbers that are included with your plan. So you can be able to have up to 3 phone numbers for free, 100 different phone numbers that you can be able to attach to the account. So you can be able to add on additional phone numbers, which costs about $1 a month. And you can have up to 100 bots. So for those of you that maybe have an agency or those of you that basically do consulting, think about how much money that you could be able to make by being able to set up automated bot sequences for companies. Maybe a coffee shop in order to be able to help them do a flash promo for a free cup of coffee if people come in. What about having maybe it for an event that's going on, and you can go to them and you can be able to go like, hey, we see that you have 500 people that are going to be coming that you want to be able to fill out these seats for. Well, do you have a contact list already? And they're going to be like, yeah, we do have a list already. And then you can be able to go, well, do they have phone numbers? And they're going to be like, yeah. And then you can be able to go, well, I can be able to blast out that list for you and set up an entire campaign if you pay me $1,000. And people will absolutely go for it because a lot of people, if they've ever done any kind of marketing, they know that a single SMS number is worth more than 50 emails. And the reason why I say that is because one big thing that you haven't thought of yet, if you can be able to export the phone numbers of all the people that are basically texting in, what is the number one thing that you can be able to do? You can go over to Facebook and you can upload them as a custom audience. And guess what? When you upload as a custom audience, phone numbers, they are the number one match for Facebook custom audiences. So all those followers that you ended up having swiping off of Instagram or maybe texting in into your profile or any other form of promotion, you are literally going to be able to match their profile every single time. So it is absolutely amazing for you to be able to use that. It will absolutely be able to help you close and generate more business. So take us up on this offer. This is an amazing offer that you guys can be able to get. You get 2,000 text messages, 100 presentations, 100 bot accounts. So you can set up 100 automated sequences, just like the Instagram one that we set up earlier. And you can be able to set up 100 presentations. And soon, one of the amazing things that we're going to be adding to HopFu soon is that we're going to be able to have it to where you can create entire presentations on this left-hand side. So we're going to be able to create entire PowerPoints, not just one slide, but your entire pitch deck. So whether you're pitching investors or whether you're pitching a crowd or whether you're doing a webinar and you want to be able to have an entire slideshow, HopFu is going to be able to do that all in-house. We're going to be able to build out this software over the next coming months as you guys support us, giving us feedback, giving us ideas for new features, and we're going to make it the best possible software. So again, guys, I hope you take us up and I hope you become part of the family. It is an amazing, amazing software. We're going to continue to develop it out. It is really in its infancy stages. So if any of you have any questions or if you are really curious about where we can be able to take this, definitely let me know. And I can't wait for you guys to be able to actually jump on and be able to get access, because this is going to be an amazing software that is going to change your life. And when you sign up for HopFu, you also are going to be invited to a group that I actually end up posting all of my actual hacks and tips and growth hacking and literally everything. Like I literally have right now, if you were to be able to sign up for HopFu and you end up joining the program and you join the actual you join the group that you're going to get actually messaged back when you first sign up for your account. It's going to end up sending you a group to sign up for on Facebook. It's going to end up showing you in that group when you end up getting accepted a way that I was able to be able to actually launch campaigns. I was able to basically take a fresh Facebook ad account while using HopFu in order to be able to go from zero to generating $18,000 within my first 5 days by doing 700 split tests. It goes over that entire process and how I was able to be able to generate $18,000 by spending only $4,000. So it kind of helps you be able to see all the different ways that you can be able to do it. And I hope you guys are going to enjoy it as much as I did. It is absolutely amazing. You guys are absolutely going to be able to want to go here. The link, again, for those of you that are interested, is going to be HopFu /special. If you guys look into the chat, you guys can be able to see it there. This is where you guys can be able to claim the offer today and be able to get that massive discount. So again, I highly, highly encourage you guys to be able to sign up, and you can be able to get some additional information on here for anything that I did not cover. It does all the automated SMS marketing, interactive presentations like I've shown you. It's super simple to be able to customize these presentations. It doesn't have to be as basic as the one that you see here. You can easily be able to drag things around. This is a background. You can be able to have it to where things move up to the top layer. You move them down just like you can in very popular, easy to edit apps, and everything else. You can left align it. You can right align it. You can do all of these different things to it. You can be able to have it to where it's center aligned, underlined. You can be able to actually go in and, like I did earlier, you can actually be able to change the text color of specific parts themselves. So you can kind of see in here how I've been able to change this specific text color. So anyway, that's all I have to be able to say, guys, is that is HopFu in its entirety. So again, if you love this presentation, if you have any questions, definitely ask them now. And I can't wait to be able to see you guys on the inside. So thank you again. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be able to present. And I hope to be able to see you guys on the inside, and I hope to be able to see you as part of the family and part of the growth of what I hope for this software. Because if you guys have ever used Infusionsoft or ActiveCampaign, this is going to be able to take it by storm, because the way that we've laid out HopFu, and I'm just going to kind of give you an idea of what our future plans are. What is crazy about this software, just so that way you know, is that we are just getting started. The way that we have laid out the current builder for your bots is not just for SMS. There's nothing stopping us from being able to turn this into an intercom. For those of you that are not familiar with intercom, it's a support chat service that costs several $100s a month in order to be able to use, and allows for you to be able to support your customers right then and there. We can be able to create an intercom with that. We can create a WeChat bot service. We can be able to have it to where you start routing phone calls. We can be able to have it to where it does so much, and this is just the beginning. So when you guys end
Hey,
up getting signed up
Joseph.
now, that's just the beginning.
Hey, Joseph. Yes, sorry to interrupt. We have some questions here in the questions box for GoToWebinars. We're just gonna go through them so we can
Perfect.
clarify a few things. So yeah, do you have access to it, or should I read that out to you?
Let's see. Let me check really quick. It doesn't look like they're popping up for me.
Yeah, so first question is, can you segregate phone numbers into different campaigns? Like one for restaurants, one for personal, and the other for like personal injury attorneys on a per campaign basis, that is.
Yeah, so you can be able to have it to where you absolutely use different phone numbers for different campaigns and different bots. You can also be able to have it to where however you end up segmenting out your phone numbers, what's great about it is that you can actually be able to set it up so that way, as you can be able to see here, the keywords that we ended up checking for were vote numbers, so 1, 2, or 3. But we can easily just be able to go in here and edit, and you can be able to have it to where, let's say that we're doing it for lawyers, we can be able to have it to where we, instead of having it be a number, we have it to where we type in the word legal. If they text in the word legal, it'll automatically end up segmenting down that way. Or you can be able to have it, let's say if we're dealing with lawyers or anything else like that, what's nice about it is that you can just have them to where you send out a different phone number. With the account, again, that you guys are going to be able to get, you can be able to set up 100 phone numbers. So it's as easy as being able to go in here and setting up a phone number. I just bought one, and that, as you see, just added another one down here. I can keep adding phone numbers all day long, maxing out my account to be able to use and set up segmented bots in order to be able to start closing people and segmenting them out and creating custom lists.
Perfect. And let me see. All right, I think I lost that question. Oh, is there any training included with the program?
So inside the group that you guys will be able to actually join, once you end up actually signing up for HopFu, I will actually be doing weekly trainings, being able to show you guys different strategies that you can be able to use HopFu for, both with Facebook ads and with Instagram. And I'm also going to be writing up 6 different strategies that are going to be in a blog form that are going to be very step-by-step detailed. So that way you guys can be able to use the 6 most common features that we've actually done in our prior case studies in order to be able to generate it for yourself.
All right, and yeah, this is a very good question I have for Marissa is what does hot food does that makes it different from ManyChat?
So what HopFu does that's different than ManyChat is that HopFu is for SMS. It's for texting in. And what's amazing about this is that by having people be able to text in, you can be able to take advantage of it, and you can actually be able to create an Instagram bot. Right now, you can't be able to do that with ManyChat. ManyChat's only for Facebook. You can't be able to create an Instagram bot. So what's amazing about that is that you can be able to actually generate and turn your followers on Instagram into leads. You can also be able to plug it into, let's say, on stage. You can't be able to set up a messenger bot from stage. You can't be able to have it where people text in, message in from stage. You can't be able to do that, unfortunately. So by being able to have the SMS feature, it definitely allows for you to be able to generate sales by being able to have it where you can have that easy phone number where people can be able to text in live and be able to capture their information right then and there.
Perfect. And yeah, uh, this the is the limit of 2,000 messages, is that per day or is it per campaign, or what's the limitation for the 2,000 messages included?
So the 2,000 messages are included per month. So this is on a per month basis. So you're going to be able to get 2,000 text messages per month. And if you go over it, it's just on a standard meter pricing. So for every text message over that, it's only 2 cents.
Great. So yeah, let me just go through some of the questions here. Yeah. So how much is each phone number if you get it like more than three?
Okay, so each phone number is going to be an additional dollar. So every single phone number is an additional dollar per month. So this will end up showing in your billing statement. So if you end up going over to your billing statement, it'll show underneath your payment information, and you'll be able to see kind of the breakdown here. So I ended up having this where it was signed up on the basic plan. So that was this was just for the purpose of the demo. And this was the monthly, which you guys are literally going to end up getting a massive discount when you guys sign up for the other. And you're going to be able to see that the 4 phone numbers that were not included are underneath here. So you're going to be able to see that for each one times the amount of 4 added $4 to my monthly bill.
Perfect. And yeah, does the discounted price continue at renewal?
Can you say that one again?
Yeah, I have a question from Rachel here. Does the discounted price continue at renewal?
So at the renewal, no, it will be moving to the month-to-month plan. So this is basically just for this specific year.
Yeah, and once you see it, once you see actually see the power of this, it's gonna be worth every single penny.
Absolutely, especially once we add the new features in. I mean, in the next couple of coming days, when this offer is no longer available, it'll already be too late. The things that we're going to be adding, and this is going to be not just a fly-by-night software. This is something that I'm going to be building each and every single day, making sure that we make it bigger and better. We're going to be taking your feedback. We're building an entire community behind it, which the community behind HopFu is already around 200 people strong, all people that have different businesses, consulting background. So there's a lot of value in what we're building. We're not just building a software, we're building a community, we're building an outlet, we're building a tool that can be able to help people not only list build and be able to target their customers, because Facebook changes all the time. Facebook recently just made changes that hurt a lot of businesses, and if you haven't built a list yet, it's going to be much harder to. So by using HopFu in order to be able to get ahead of that curve, and by being able to build a list, you're going to be able to get ahead of that, and you're going to be able to gamify it. You're going to be able to build that list and be able to actually prevent yourself from getting hurt.
All right, exactly. That's something that sucks about Facebook is that they change the stuff a lot, and it can really affect your business. In fact, a lot of businesses are already feeling the pinch, especially that the exposure to regular posts right now is at all-time low. So doing recollecting phone numbers is still the best way to go when it comes to reaching out to your customers. Yeah, so let me just go through some other questions that pop up. So after a year, what is the monthly renewal after the first year?
So the monthly renewal will move back to the $50 or $100 a month.
Awesome. Let me see. Oh, what do you mean by 100 presentations? Asked Michael.
So you can be able to create 100 presentations inside HopFu. So you can be able to create 100 of these. So you can create another presentation each and every time. So for different presentations, whatever you might be having the need to be able to use them for.
Perfect. All right, so let me know if I missed any questions, guys, or we missed any questions. If we did miss them, just type it in again in the questions box so that we can get through them right away on the call today. All right. So yeah.
So this is really great for agencies. I think the biggest play here is that a lot of people don't understand how to use SMS, and I think the people that invest their time today and actually invest into learning HopFu and how to be able to use it, I think that this deal is actually the best for them because they're going to be able to sign up, they're going to be able to actually get to experience HopFu, and they're going to be able to actually become experts before anybody else, and they're going to be able to offer this as a service to other businesses. So that alone could be able to generate a couple $100, whether it be a month. I would actually charge businesses per month in order to be able to set up campaigns for them. And I can actually walk you through the process of how you can be able to set up your landing pages and everything. And what's cool about HopFu is, believe it or not, on your actual landing page, you could actually use HopFu's own feature of using this actual demonstration to be able to have it to where you can create your own demo to show how powerful a bot can be. So you can literally ask the business, what is your biggest issue with sales or coupons or promotions? And then you can be able to ask them, you can ask them like this. You can be able to go, what is your biggest problem with the promotions you've ran or been running? And then what you're going to be able to do there is that you're going to be able to go in here and you're going to be able to go, people, let's actually change that really quick. Here, let me refresh that. One sec. Let me copy this. So there we go. And then we're going to go, instead of speaking on stage, we're going to change this to, let's see, from speaking on stage, problems you ran, we're going to say biggest promotions that you ran. We're going to say people don't see it in time. People don't see them in time. Nobody redeems. Actually, I think it would be better to be able to say little to no interest in promotions, which can also open up you the opportunity to be able to do consulting for them. And then you can be able to say it's impossible to build a list for promotions. So between those three things, what's nice is that we're going to be able to have it to where, I don't know why it did that, but if we could be able to save that, it'll end up popping up. But I'm going to clone this actually. So let's go over here and I'm going to clone it over here. So clone this, delete this. Let's edit this, paste, save, edit the new options. And we're going to do the 3 in here. So we're going to do little to no interest in promotions. We're going to do list building for promotions is hard. Lack of, let's see, what else? What else would be a good example? Little to no interest in promotions. List building for promotions is hard. I send, this is actually another perfect one because you want to pre-frame them into actually using SMS. I send out offers, but nobody ever redeems them. ever actually sees them. Okay, send out offers, but nobody ever sees them. So here's our 3 poll options. So we drag it into place, we customize it, we make it look a little bit pretty. So we're going to change the text color, we're going to change the background color, and there we go. And then we can be able to make it bold, we can make it text bigger, maybe not that big. And then we just put it in place, and now we have a new poll. What we're going to want to do is that we're going to want to be able to attach this presentation to another bot. Hit that save button. So now we have the new bot that's in here. The preview is going to end up loading probably in the next 5 minutes because we have it on a cron, so it'll update soon. And then what we're going to do is that we're going to go over to our bot. We're going to be able to take this phone number here, the new one, and we're going to copy this. We're going to go back to our presentation, and we're going to plug it in up at the top over here. And I think it's just going to copy the, see if it does this. Let's see if this makes it better. I think it's copying the format because we have it's where it keeps the format of whatever you paste. So there we go. And then now we have the new phone number in there. This is now a live campaign. When people text in, now all we have to be able to do is set up the backend for this. And what's nice is that once I save this, then what I can be able to do is I can go back in here, and now I can be able to go share it. And as you guys can be able to see here, here's an embed code. I can literally embed this on my landing page, and I can be able to have it obviously where I put in a better background. So let's use a fitness background. So let's just pull one off of Google really quick instead of having that plain background. And let's do fitness background, fitness wallpaper. All right. So actually, if we're doing it for a business, let's do, I don't know, guy. So let's do coffee shop wallpaper. Maybe it's a little bit better for that. And we will find something that's a little bit more bland that has something, or actually maybe something that embodies kind of the whole message. So let's do frustrated wallpaper. There's some good ones in here. All right, perfect. So we can be able to have this guy right here who's a little bit angry. Looks a little bit kind of creepy. Let's actually go with the person that's like super fed up here. And let's save this. So let's go over here. Let's save this. And let's have it to where we close this out. Let's upload it. And then all we have to do is go over here, set the presentation background, upload the background image that we just downloaded. And should be underneath downloads. There we go. And that's it. Now we have this entire download. And obviously because it's on the left-hand side, we're going to want to be able to obviously move our stuff over and be able to make the arrangements that we want to be able to do. This actually seems like it might be for a little bit else, this specific background, but you can be able to see that's how quick it is for you to be able to complete and create a totally new presentation. So you can be able to easily be able to create a brand new presentation just like that for a brand new industry. So if I want to be able to change anything, it's that simple. So is there any other questions that came in?
Yeah, so I just want to go through this real quick. Is there any type of special consent you need for the texter to go through for any like to be approved, to be okay with government regulations?
So when a text message is transactional, there's a big difference. So what you'll end up noticing is that when I do a broadcast, it'll have it where it sends the traditional stop message that you guys are familiar with, because that is an advertisement. When it is transactional, if you guys are familiar, you don't have those stop messages when you guys end up signing up for an account. So when you ended up signing up for an account for pretty much any service recently, because of the two-factor authentication, any transactional messages do not require you in order to be able to have any kind of regulation behind it. The only place that actually has regulation right now is, believe it or not, Nigeria. So Nigeria actually is the only country right now that has a DND list, which is a do not disturb list, which every single user who uses SMS is subscribed to. So every single person who has a phone, cell phone is automatically subscribed to this, so you can't really message anybody in Nigeria. But unfortunately, I mean, most people aren't going to have to worry about messaging people in Nigeria. So that's the only country that HopFu cannot reach. As far as being able to do any kind of transactional messaging, that is actually, it's all transactional. So you don't have to worry about your bot being able to talk to anybody as long as you are not spamming them. There's a big difference between transactions and be able to have like an engaging conversation like you can be able to see here with our bots versus having it to where you're just blasting them. So broadcast messages will have that message, and everything else will be just normal as you see. For those of you that actually texted into this bot and texted into the presentation, this presentation right here, so if you texted into this number, you can be able to see how it is and how your users are going to be able to see it. And then later on today, if you guys want, I could be able to send a broadcast to all of you, or you guys can be able to just sign up for HopFu and actually be able to test it yourself, where you send a broadcast to yourself, and you'll be able to see that demo message that says stop in order to be able to stop receiving messages from us.
All right, so yeah, so I think we just have two more questions here. The first one is this GDPR compliant?
So GDPR compliant, I mean, at the end of the day, GDPR basically ends up having a privacy policy and any other information regarding that. GDPR doesn't actually end up govern. It doesn't govern SMS, believe it or not. It only ends up governing data on the internet, so it's a little bit different. Uh, basically those laws don't necessarily apply. SMS is underneath its own set of laws. So that is something that you would have to look into a little bit more on your own. But basically, from what I've seen, GDPR does not have precedence over SMS. But I would still, if I were you, I would still follow within the same lines of like doing business ethically. So that's just kind of my point on that one.
All right, I think the last question we have is, well, it's not exactly a question, but it is somewhat of a request. So can you do a quick review of the whole offer?
Yeah, so basically, with the final offer is going to be $697 for the entire year. Normally, that's $1,200. So you guys are going to be able to get HopFu for a steal, literally a steal, the fully upgraded agency plan, where you guys can be able to actually use this for clients. You can be able to use this in a bunch of different settings, and you're going to be able to get this for $697, which is going to be able to give you 3 free phone numbers. You're going to get a maximum of 100 phone numbers that you can attach to your personal account. You get unlimited keywords, which is huge. Definitely a massive advantage over every other possible competitor that's out there. And no competitor, I guarantee you, has the ability to be able to set up the network that we do, being able to set up the bots in the way that we do. So that is something that is completely unique to us. And we are going to continue to develop this out to be able to extend to other platforms. So it's definitely something that is super unique to us because we've made it this easy to be able to do. It's super simple, straightforward. Anybody who's looking at this can be able to understand what's going on because you can literally read it. So you can see message comes in, it's a startup here, first vote, second vote, third vote. Okay, based on that, we save their vote, then we send a message customized on what they voted. Then we end up checking if the email was sent because that's what we asked in all the messages. If they didn't send the right email, they got an invalid message, and then we save that email if they sent the right one, and then a call to action message. So that's it. That's pretty much what it ends up being at the end of everything, is that it's super straightforward and simple. So we have that unique feature, and I really wanted to be able to highlight that because that's going to be a really great feature, especially when we add in the ability to be able to check your calendar and be able to make appointments for you. It's going to be like its own little calendar service that's going to be put in there. And you also be able to create presentations. So you can be able to create your own presentations that you can be able to use for clients. You can be able to use this for speaking on stage, mainly speaking on stage, but webinars, we've also used it for webinars with some great success. So you're gonna be able to make 100 of those, and then you're gonna be able to get 2,000 text messages per month. So you're gonna get 24,000 text messages over the course of the year, and you guys are going to be able to save $500 on that entire bundle.
Perfect. And one more thing, by the way, you can create kind of like a funnel in other languages, right? It's not just limited to English.
No, you can absolutely, yeah. This is a complete text field, so you can be able to use your own languages, however you want to be able to create. I mean, it doesn't matter what language that you end up choosing in order to be able to create these bots. So you can be able to select any language and just type it in naturally as you would anything else.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, I think that is pretty much it. Um, Let me see. And yeah, for additional messages, I think it's already stated. It's around 2 cents per additional message if you go over the 2,000 per month.
Yep. So
Okay.
yeah, guys, I definitely hope that everybody ends up actually taking us up on this offer. Again, it's going to be a limited time offer. This is something that we're only going to be doing once, simply because of the fact that this is a fairly new software. We're still adding more features to it, but we want to be able to give you guys a peek preview so that you guys can be able to see exactly how it works, be able to get in on basically the ground floor and be able to lock in at a special price because right now, I mean, you're never going to get a better price than this. The price is actually going to go up on our monthlies because we're going to continue to add more features. When we add the ability for you guys to be able to actually have the calendar and be able to actually automate appointment setting through your bot, that's going to cause the price to go up. When we add the landing page builder, that's going to cause the price to go up. But for those of you that end up claiming this deal, you're not going to have to worry about that. These are things that you guys are going to be locked into. You're not going to have to worry about it. You've already paid. You're not going to have to worry about having to pay $200 to $300 a month. For those of you that are familiar with ClickFunnels, they charge $300 a month, and we're going to be adding a landing page builder in there. So you know the price is going to be able to go up on our monthlies. So when you sign up now, you're going to be able to get a massive, massive discount. Like there's never going to be a better deal than this one. So I highly, highly encourage you to be able to take the advantage of it right now and be able to sign up.
Exactly. So let me see. I think I missed one of the questions here. Oh yeah, David is asking if we uh, do we need to do we really have to use the phone numbers inside HopFu, or can we like use our own numbers?
It has to be a phone number with an OPFU. So we do not have the ability for you to be able to transfer your phone number to us because it has to go through our software. And the only way that we can be able to do that is through a number that we control. If you are wanting a phone number that is your existing phone number, unfortunately, you would have to transfer that over to our service, and then you would no longer be able to accept calls or anything else through that. It would actually be our phone number from that point on. So it's just easier to use one of our phone numbers. And we may add that feature down the line for people that are interested in doing that because what's interesting, and this is something that I've actually thought about doing, is that the moment that we release the calendar feature, what was really great about that is that we're going to be a little bit more creative about it. And this is kind of like just telling you guys what's around the corner. When we add the calendar feature, it's going to be able to connect with your Google Calendar and be able to check what kind of meetings that you have. So, for instance, if I'm busy at 4 o'clock, it's going to be able to tell whoever's texting me, hey, is this important? Joseph's in a meeting. And then they're going to be able to, and then the person's going to be able to go, yes, it's important. And then the text is going to be able to either go through or a call is going to connect in order to be able to get my attention. So things like that, I think, are really, really unique applications. And that's where I see maybe transferring your phone number and letting HopFu be able to direct or manage calls for you for certain times of the day makes sense. But for right now, we don't have that feature.
All right, and yeah, and I think last question here is that do the messages roll over per month?
The messages do not roll over per month. They are automatically reset at the end of the month.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I just got a confirmation here if um is there any like lockdown on the price for the monthly if ever like there are gonna be new features coming in?
No, there will not be. So when you guys end up signing up for the monthly, we will be increasing the monthly. So let's say that you ended up signing up today for the monthly. Unfortunately, you guys, if let's say that we're 2 months in and you signed up for the $50 a month plan, we are going to have it to where you will be able to stay on that for maybe another 3 months, and then you're going to be either forced to upgrade or basically forced to be able to pay more for the additional features. So one way or another, there's going to be where we're going to have it to where it becomes a more expensive platform over time, because that way we can be able to fund more developers to be able to work on it when we can be able to add more features. And it's going to become, honestly, at the end of the day, our goal is to be able to make this an all-in-one, one-stop marketing automation software where you can be able to do all emails, all SMS, all bots. So not just for Facebook, not just for SMS, but for phones and routing and everything. So we're trying to become an all-in-one here that's going to allow for you to be able to kind of handle all of your automated marketing through HopFu. So we want to become the #1 automated platform. So that's going to cause us to increase price, basically, if you're on the monthly plan. So that's why I highly, highly encourage you to be able to hop on for this special limited time offer that we're doing right now, because that locks you in because you're already going to pay that annual price one time.
Right, and by that time, trust me, it's gonna be well worth the upgrade with all the additional features. And well, once you have everything set up, it's not gonna be something that you will be really thinking about. It's gonna be just a minor um, operational cost uh, that you need to take care of. Yeah, there are no upsells for this, and of course, if you do exceed the 2,000 per month, it's gonna be just 2 cents per message, per text message, that is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And replay. Again, we'll try to get the replay for you guys. Again, I can't give any assurances. It really depends on GoToWebinar. If it plays nice, it doesn't always get us the replay. But yeah, we'll try to get one for you as soon as possible.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah. Is the price the same for additional messages for every country?
Yes, the price is the same for every single country. We may be
Wow.
changing that in the future because we do get charged more for some countries than others. But right now, we're just going to do the flat rate while we're still kind of rounding out of this phase while we add the new features. And then once we add the new features, we'll do more complex billing plans where we start to charge more for different countries, because certain countries, it can cost as much as 6 cents per text to us as a platform, but we're eating that cost as we're kind of in this early phase. So for now, it's only going to be 2 cents per additional text, but right now, we're going to just leave it at that. And then in the future, we're going to be having it to where it's actually based on the individual country cost, and we're going to have it to where we parlay that to the actual individual customer. So right now, this is our cost that we're literally just transferring our cost directly onto you. We're not actually upcharging it in any way. So just kind of keep that in mind with the way that we've set up our text messages right now.
All right. Yeah, that's actually quite affordable, to be honest. 2 cents. When I actually did launch, we did launch like our a similar software a couple of years ago. It was on a per country basis, and definitely it was more than 2 cents per message.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, I got one more question here. I think this is something that is not clear. Perhaps you can answer this. Is that after the $697, um, will I be paying the increased monthly, or do I get a lock? Yeah, I think you answered this already, Jesse. I think she just want the exact figures
Yeah,
after
so
the 1 year. Yeah.
So after the 1 year, the pricing will be whatever the prices will be at that time, and you will be able to choose whether or not you would like to renew or not.
Okay. Yeah. Perhaps can you give out a ballpark figure, perhaps?
Right now, we're gonna have it probably where you're gonna be able to do a la carte. So certain features you're gonna be able to select and be able to have it where you pay for that. It won't, like, for the general features that you're seeing right now. I don't see it being too much more expensive than it is right now. The pricing scales might adjust based on, again, the additional cost per text for different countries. We may be able to have additional features that may raise the cost. So, for instance, if you wanted to be able to have calendars, if you want to be able to have forms, all those things kind of will factor into the cost, and that'll increase your monthly. So your base may be a little bit more expensive. And then any apps kind of like Shopify and other major platforms, you'll be able to have an additional monthly for those additional features. So it'll range probably from anywhere from $100 on up per month.
Perfect. Yeah, it's they also have the you also mentioned the a la carte feature, so that is actually pretty good value as well. So you only get whatever features you need.
Mm-hmm. All
Okay.
right. That looks like that's all the questions, correct?
Yep, that is pretty much it. So again, Joseph, thank you for being on the call. I do appreciate you taking all the time to answer the questions. And yeah, and definitely this is an awesome way, especially that email marketing is as it's we're getting lower open rates right now. Facebook posts are not getting as much clicks or as much visibility as you want, unless you want to pay hundreds of dollars of Facebook. So text is going to be a big game changer, especially for a lot of local businesses.
Absolutely, absolutely. Text is the king of the impulse buy. I mean, being able to get people to buy right then and there, because text is emotional. A lot of people don't realize this. The reason why people open it within the first 15 minutes, the reason why everybody does is because when you get a text message, you think it's from somebody important, your friend, your mom, your girlfriend, somebody that you want to be able to immediately respond to. And as long as you make sure that the first couple of words in your text message to your clients are not spammy, it'll make them feel good. It make them feel like you're connected to them. When it comes to bots, because it happens almost instantaneously, they send a message, you get a message sent back. They send a message, you get a message sent back. That allows it to be instantaneous. It's super quick, it's super easy, it's transactional, makes it really, really nice. On top of it, again, you can be able to set this up for individual businesses, be able to make a profit on it. I would probably, at the minimum, I would go to and charge any business $250 a month to be able to set up an SMS campaign for them. I think that a lot of businesses would go for that because you have to think about how much money that they're going to be able to make with the actual promotions if they go well. So a traditional coffee shop that maybe has about 500 people that come into the coffee shop per day is probably going to have a list, depending on if they collect phone numbers or not. And if they don't, that's an opportunity for you to help them collect phone numbers. And if they do, and they capture, let's say, about, I don't know, 60% of the people's phone numbers that text in, what's nice is that that's 300 people's phone numbers. Now what you can be able to do is that you can be able to text them offers, let's say a buy one, get one free coffee, and then all of a sudden you can be able to quantify with the coupon code that you ended up doing that they were able to be able to generate an additional maybe $500 or $600 in sales. That coffee shop ended up making an extra $350 off of your promo. So they're more than happy to keep paying you $250 a month, and that equals somewhere around $2,000 a year. That's a nice, nice, easy gig that you can be able to set up, and it's not going to cost you a lot of time. Also, you can be able to set up promotions where maybe you can be able to post a quick webinar, not even a quick webinar, maybe just a quick presentation where you use one of HopFu's presentations and you have it to where you set it up to maybe where there isn't this frustrated guy in the background, but maybe where there's coffee in the background, similar to this. And you can be able to set it up to where you can be able to ask them, what is your favorite coffee? So then when they text back what their favorite coffee is, so let me just show an example. So when they text in their favorite coffee, let's just use this image. And then we can be able to change it so that way it's based on their favorite coffee. So let's go back to our presentation. Let's upload this new background. Upload. And we got our new coffee. So again, we got to move this over here and move this over here. Maybe change the colors a bit. Maybe make this a little bit more mocha colored. So let's change the background color of this. Be more of a brown. And maybe something like that works a little bit better. And then we could probably be able to change the background color of this to be a little bit more. Maybe I just don't even need that background, to be honest. And I'm not the greatest designer in the world, so. But what you would do is that you would go in here and you would list the names of like the top drinks. And obviously you can be able to make this smaller and you can be able to have it to where the text is a little bit smaller. So that way it doesn't take as much space up. So let's shrink this down over here and let's move this all over here a little bit. And it's as simple as you can kind of see. I'm able to change this presentation super easy. So it's just a lot of just sizing as you would normally do in pretty much any image editing software. And then just sizing down the text a little bit and then just scaling stuff in. And there we go. I've made it super, super simple. And then all I need to be able to do is now go in here and change these to the names of the drinks and have it to where people vote for their favorite drink. And then I can even keep the same text here that says special bonus when you text in. And when people text in, we give them a 50% off their next cup of coffee. And the nice part is that guess what? Now you can be able to have it to where when they redeem that coupon or maybe a printout to the coupon and they bring it in, now you can quantify how much money you've made that business. And now you can be able to say, hey, you had 200 people that ended up redeeming a coupon. We know that you end up making an extra $3, $4, $5 off of those coupons. So I just ended up making you for the $250 that you pay me. I made you $1,500. So that's a win-win, not just for you, but also for the business that you're helping.
Perfect. Yeah. So I think that is, yep. Let me see. I think Joe. Yeah. So how much do you think we could charge monthly for local clients for this? We're doing this bot SMS service.
Yeah, so like I just said, I mean, for the coffee shop, again, I would say anywhere from, I would say for the small mom and pop clients, I would say $250 a month. You really have to look at their business model and see if that is within their range. $100 a month, I mean, anybody would pretty much go for it, to be honest. I know for like events and such, you could easily charge them $2,000 to $3,000 for like a single event. So like for instance, if it's for like a major like seminar or something else like that, you could sell it to them and basically say, hey, I'll set up this bot sequence for you so that way you can sell from stage. And I want 10% of whatever comes through that is sold from stage. And they have to give you like an affiliate link or something else like that. And you can make a lot more than just like $1,000 or $2,000. If you take a percentage, you can make several, I mean, maybe $10,000. That's a way that I would love to do it with events. That's where I would spend my time, is going after events and setting up bots for the speakers and also for the events themselves, because a lot of events are not that great about capturing lists and building lists of the people that are in attendance. So I would actually market to them to be able to see if they would be interested in that, and seeing if they could be able to partner with speakers in order to be able to close it, and you could get a percentage. That's where I see the big money, and that's even if you're not getting a percentage. If you were to do a flat fee, I think most events would pay 1,000, maybe up to $3,000 to be able to have you set up a bot sequence for them. I know a crazy amount of people. If you look at the ClickFunnels group ever, there's a bunch of people that always post, maybe like probably about 3 to 8 people a week probably post needing bots in the ClickFunnels group alone. So being able to have an SMS bot service that you can be able to offer them, I think would be super valuable, because not only do you have speakers, but you also have webinars. So you can go be able to approach anybody who has a webinar, and you can be able to go, hey, I can be able to help you get more people on the webinar. And if I can increase the number of people that are on the webinar by about 20%, how much would you pay me for that? And if they know that for every 100 people that are on there, they make an extra 40 grand, they're going to go, well, shit, I would pay you an extra $15,000 if you could be able to help make that happen. So I think that's where it becomes super, super valuable, is that you can be able to actually tap into that. You can tap into that market and be able to genuinely generate a significant amount more money by going after where the bigger money is made. And I would definitely, if it were me, I would go after events, speakers, and anybody who does any webinars. And then on the side, when I wasn't going after those people, I would go after the mom and pop shops. I would set up campaigns for any kind of retail shop, coffee shops, any kind of bars. Bars are huge, huge, because they have huge margins. And to be able to get bars, to be able to people to be able to come to a bar or a nightclub, those are probably the two easiest low-hanging fruits that I would probably go after first, is bars and coffee shops, in clubs. Those three would be the first three. And then I would go after, once I had some data, I would go after I would go after speakers, and I would go after events, and I would go after people that are doing live webinars and people that are doing seminars. And that would be my go-to-market strategy for using this software as like a B2B type service.
All right. Yeah. So again, the pricing will really depend on who you are going to be pitching to. So I would say is that for local businesses, that's what just like what Joseph mentioned, anywhere from $250 to $300 per month should be a good start for smaller businesses. All right, so yeah, so I think we can wrap things up. Joseph, again, once again, thank you for taking the time to answer all the questions and doing the awesome presentation. Again, HopFu is going to be an awesome way to market, especially that things are really changing in, well, in the social media marketplace. And again, SMS is something that you have full control of. Unlike if you're just going to be using Facebook Messenger, which is good, but again, the terms, the conditions can change quickly. We've seen that happen with Google. We've seen that happen even on Facebook, and that that that's something that you worked hard for, and that's something you would like to have control of as much as possible. All right.
And
So
to a point to that, I have to add on. You mentioned that you could be able to do this with Facebook Messenger. So when the Cambridge Analytica thing ended up happening, and they ended up shutting down the ability for people to launch apps, they also ended up shutting off people's bots. So when that ended up happening, the scary thing is that imagine that all your business is based around a bot that gets shut off overnight. The thing is that that's because you rely on Facebook in order to be able to do your marketing. And by being able to get your own list and by being able to build your own list, you never have to worry about whether or not Facebook's ad prices continue to go up or whether or not Facebook decides to kill their bot platform because too many people are spamming using it. So that's been a huge topic. That's actually been a massive topic at a lot of the Facebook events about whether or not they're going to continue building out the bot platform or adding additional regulation because they see a lot of spam that's been happening. And a lot of people have been getting their bots shut down recently. You can actually see it in a lot of the marketing groups.
exactly, and that's something that you wouldn't really want to happen, especially if you already have like invested thousands of dollars into getting leads on Facebook, and you can't get it out.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, so yeah, so I think we've answered all the questions here, and I think we can wrap things up. Again, thank you everyone for being on the call. If you have any questions, please make sure to send us a ticket. It's you have our support group there. It's support.kaivio.com, and let us know if you have any questions. This offer once again is limited. It's only going to be available for a limited time, so make sure to jump in before all spots are filled up. All right. So Joseph, once again, thank you for being on the call, and yeah, and for everyone, Jesse, Jao, James, Thomas, thank you for being on the call, and I do hope to see you on the next one. Bye, everyone.